You're more of an AR like Formal and Dashy than Celium or Scrap. You feel they influence your playstyle directly. I think Formal is a good representation for sure. But I think over the past few years, I play faster than Dashy and Formal, to be honest. And I'm trying to look to be more impactful and play, make more game-winning plays, more finesse. Just being a more AR that's a playmaker. I think mostly my bag right now is channeling and taking a lot of gunfights and outputting a lot of damage. But I want to start making a lot more plays. Not that I already don't, but just making more plays than I already do to make it easier on my team and just complement my teammates better. How far away from a screen, my arms like or an elbow? I'm like an elbow and a half. He said you're good mechanically but not very impactful. When did he say that? Today's stream? I think he maybe I guess okay, mid, how you doing? I think and it probably meant like when I'm not frying that I'm not as impactful as when I am frying. Which I mean there could be some sort of truth in that. I think he's saying maybe if I'm not like ultimately frying and winning all these like gunfights and putting a high damage, then like I'm not as impactful. Which to a certain extent I kind of agree. I think I should be making a lot more impactful plays that don't only cater to putting high damage and like getting a lot of engagements, whether that be like route taking or setting my teammates up for something. I think that in itself I think would be good. To be honest, to like help balance out. But I mean, I think that kind of goes for everyone. If they're not frying, then a lot of people they're not going to be as impactful if they're not frying. So good, Marcus. When I played with Glenn, I think he was efficient. I think he needs to play a bit faster. He needs to play a bit faster and be more consistent. Not gonna lie, Sib, I thought you would have done to the CDL what Scrap did. Honestly, same. I think honestly, you guys can clip this or whatever, but I honestly thought coming into the league, I would whatever like Scrap is doing right now is like everything I kind of like envisioned myself being that pinnacle of AR players. I think the reason why I haven't reached that level or at that level of consistency is because of my efficiency as a player, such as like playing too fast or like getting a lot of engagements and stuff like that. I think I kind of didn't really slow down and try to be as efficient as I possibly could. I kind of just, was like dying for free, useless deaths, and also like I had a few slumps here and there. I think as well as last year, not in Black Ops 6, but in MW3, I kind of made the mistake of taking the back seat on New York sub honors. I think once I kind of like started taking initiative in a lot of things, we got a lot better, and partially that's like on me for taking the back seat and not really taking initiative in the game and taking myself out the play to either make a play or to win the game. I think I'm very talented and very good. I think I have opportunities to make game-winning plays, and I think at the start when playing with the New York sub honors, I wasn't like doing that. That's why you guys kind of saw the playstyle switch from Major 3 and kind of onward into like the rest of the year. I kind of just like put my foot down and tell myself like you're way better than this. Like just like play with that confidence and everything will work out. I think I was really just too focused on doing the dirty work and like kind of doing things that nobody else wanted to do, and I think that kind of hurt me a lot, to be honest, but it came from a good intention and a good place, so I don't mind that particular outcome just because I did it for thinking that I was kind of benefiting the team. But in turn, actually, I just did what I was doing Major 3 and onward. I think I could have had a way better year. I could probably been the best AR in the game throughout the whole year, and we could have had a better year as a team as well. But yeah, I think that's kind of, like I said, not necessarily jealous of Scrap, but I'm happy for him. Happy how he's doing what he's doing in the league. But I always thought whatever he's doing now is like I would be in that spot, but he's just not a lot more efficient, but over time he's been more efficient than I am in how we take space and our influence on the map. So ultimately he ends up being better than me as of right now. I'm looking to kind of turn that around. I want to be, hopefully I get a good team this next coming season so I can actually compete and show how good I am, and I'm actually one of the best ARers in the game, and I deserve that credit. I think this year was a battle test for me mentally, so I want to not only prove to myself but prove to everybody that I am indeed one of the best arrows in the game, and I'm dying to show it. I'm playing a duo switch role. Yeah, I am. Was it because NYSO went champs of Prisa playing that role, so you thought it was my job to do that? I think partially that was kind of it. I know Prisa did like a lot of dirty work for New York, but I think I just did my best to kind of fit into their style of play and like their system of which how like they kind of wanted to play the game. I think I just try to fit into that instead of kind of like maybe doing my own thing and kind of like just figuring out a new system because it's a new team and stuff like that. I try to just be someone. I try to just be a player that I'm just not. I'm not. That's kind of like the simplest way to put it. I was trying to be a player that I just wasn't, and they didn't bring me on the team to be someone I'm not. So I think ultimately, trying to cater towards them was end up hurting, honestly. The swoop. Tried fitting in too much. Yeah, for sure, man. I try to fit in for sure. I think I should have just came in and did my thing and but honestly, like as crazy as that sounds, I think like the community kind of thinks of me as kind of like a dickhead and like someone that's kind of a bit arrogant and just an asshole, but in the exact opposite. That's just, I guess that's just the vibe that I give off, but they take everything I say pretty serious. But yeah, surprisingly, joining New York, I mean, the community and people, they would think that I would try to maybe be the guy or play selfish and kind of force myself into the front seat of being less of a team player, but I actually joined and did the exact opposite, and that didn't really work out too well. I would often just take myself out to play a lot of times and kind of just do the stuff that, like I said, nobody would want to do, and like let my teammates like make all the plays, and I think that was just like very hindering because I was never in a spot to take initiative or be in a spot to make a play when I could have been, because I was just so focused on, okay, like, oh, you go make the play, you can do this, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. I was always trying to do things for other people and not really leaving any room for myself. I think that's kind of where I went wrong. I think catering to a team and their play style is wonderful, but not if you do too much of it, and the result of sacrificing your own playmaking abilities and your own successes in the game. That would honestly help your team tremendously. So I think that in itself kind of says a lot about my character and my opinion. I would rather get shit on for 3 majors straight at the expense of making my teammates play the game a bit better and make it easier for them. But like I said, I think in doing that, I think I did too much of it, and it was more hindering than benefiting. And that's something that I learned. I mean, I've never joined I never won a world championship. I've never, that was my first time being on a team that just won a world championship, and I felt like the new guy there, and I didn't really think it was my place to be selfish, to be honest. Even though it probably was, and I needed to find a balance, but I didn't really feel like that was my place, to be honest. But you feel like it definitely clicked more for you at Major 4 Champs? Yeah, Major 3 is when I started taking initiative and basically kind of taking the front seat and taking matters in my own hands, and taking a lot more initiative to make plays and getting people to make plays and stuff like that. More, I think, toward the end, starting Major 3, like I kind of was more of a leader in that aspect of just I opened my voice a lot more. I was taking initiative, calling more strats, saying more things about the game instead of like letting everyone speak and like me just kind of like be the outside kind of person. I just listen to everything. I started doing that, and you can directly see the correlation within my gameplay. They not clipping this out of you? Yeah, man. That's the internet is sometimes, man. I mean, if they do clip, I mean, it'd be good for people to see for sure. But can I play some ranked? Should I, chat, or should I just keep shooting bots? I mean, keep shooting bots and being interactive. Simp needs a green light rule. I don't really care about the green light rule. I care about being efficient. Obviously, I think having a green light rule is just, I don't think certain people should only have a green light rule, because that means the person in the opposite role is going to have all the disadvantages and probably not play as good. So I think having a player that has a perma green light throws the chemistry off a little bit with the other role. whether that be a sub role or an AR. I think just being able to have a balance and put myself in positions to, you know, have the green light. When I have the green light, I have it. When I don't, then, you know, I don't. And I think me playing as efficient as I think I can and not how I know I can, I think I'll oftentimes put myself in a situation to have a green light more than not, and I'll do it pretty well. So I think, yeah. Playing Childs today? Yeah, I'm gonna play Childs with Fatty and Jay, hopefully. How many bots I shoot to get warm? Honestly, probably a lot, to be honest. My shot at a base level, my accuracy at a base level is really good, but I think shooting bots for a long time helps my micromanaging my aim, and, you know, just hit that extra bullet or two. What's my take on Envoy Challenger statement? I think it's pretty true, to be honest. Just my opinion. How do you use your left stick? Every pro use it differently. I really don't know how to explain that, I'm not gonna lie. I'd use it just muscle memory and how I feel like I need to use it in the gunfight, whether that's like maneuvering around or what, but I think expansion is pointless, to be honest. I think it would oversaturate the league. It wasn't a bad thing, but just the way he said it. Yeah, it was also, you have to kind of keep in mind that he said it at a press conference, and that was kind of like right after they won a major. Adrenaline's pretty high, he's feeling high emotionally, so everything he's gonna output to the media is probably gonna seem a little bit more exaggerated a little bit. Just because of the fact he just won, his feelings are pretty high, which is completely normal. So I don't think just, you know, looking into the way that he said it is kind of, no, I wouldn't take it too literal in that aspect. Would rather have an open ecosystem than an expansion, 100%. I think they should open the ecosystem and have pool play and stuff like that so AMs, you know, can get into the major tournaments, but I think adding teams is probably the worst thing that can happen, to be honest. But I do think they should have like maybe like the top few AM teams, you know, that maybe qualifies, have some sort of qualifier for the major, and they get maybe put into maybe the lower bracket or something like that. I'm not sure, but why don't we just do group play or something? Yeah, caught up in the moment. Yeah, man. I mean, when you win, dude, it's like the ultimate dopamine, and being caught up in the moment is, you know. If MW3 major had runs, y'all would have been so hyped. Yeah. So chat, we're also almost at 200 subs. We can get to 200 subs here by the night. That would be fantastic. Y'all can help me reach my sub goal of 200. That'd be greatly appreciated. Simp, do you think it's a good idea for LAT to let Dan go? It may not have been the best idea, but I think there needed to be something happening for the simple fact that, I mean, they got top 8 at champs and ABC. I think something had to give. What's my best game? Vanguard? I think my best game, to be honest, is probably either Black Ops 6 or MW3, to be completely honest. I think, yeah. My left stick, it's 165. Would I do it with Ken? 100%. I think Ken is a great player. Obviously a winner. From what I've kind of know about him, I think we kind of have the same somewhat eye for the game. Same kind of approach, same kind of like mindset mainly. Obviously perspectives may differ, as with any player in the league. But I think his mindset toward the game is what I want in a teammate, and someone like that who's won as many times as he did and been in positions to win and had opportunities to win. I think anybody would be lucky to see with Kenny, to be honest, regardless of him not having a good year at all. I still think he's a great player, and just because he has a bad year, it doesn't really define how good he truly is as a player and as a teammate as well. Good Owish. D19, how you doing, brother? 6 Saint with the prime. Was it re-trolling when you were talking about Ant with attached? No, of course not. Face said will be feed families. Yeah, they don't want to team with me, unfortunately. Make sure, you know. How come I don't get hyped when you won tournaments? I think I kind of developed. I think I would only really super get hyped at like champs really, but I think over the years of playing not only competitive COD but competitive sports, I've always expected myself to win. So whenever I would win, it's not that I wasn't happy or didn't, you know, enjoy it. I just think that that's just kind of the expectation that I held myself to as a player and a competitor. I've always expected myself to win, so whenever I would win, like, I feel like, okay, like, this is what I expected for myself. This is, to me, this is normal. Yeah, it feels good. It feels even better to do what you expect of yourself, and I think after, you know, winning things, I think all in my mind is that I want to win another one. Like, that's it. I want to win another one. I want another one, and another one after that. And yeah, I think that's kind of like why I seem kind of emotionless, but I think in the inside, like I have a lot of emotion in the inside for sure. I just think over the years of, you know, playing sports and stuff like that, I've always expected myself to win, and that's just kind of like what feels kind of like the normal to me. And yeah, would I mind being a Falcon? I wouldn't mind being on any team if it, you know, results in winning tournaments and winning champs, getting a ring. Anywhere I can get a ring, I mean, I don't really care where I go. Did I ask Face the team? Of course. Of course I asked. But honestly, I think I don't regret asking. I mean, I asked JoeDeceives. JoeDeceives didn't respond. I mean, I Simp didn't respond. I think it just adds fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, they want a team, and I respect it. But if I ever, you know, play against them, I'm gonna, you know, have that chip on my shoulder and, you know, prove to them, you know, I fucking made a mistake.